But let's just start off with males. So males are generally
I guess.
larger, stronger, more aggressive
Right.
than
Yeah.
females. I think that
Yeah.
that's kind of a generally
Yeah.
seen characteristic. Just generally speaking, obviously it's not true for everyone. We're just on
But on the
average, just
average, on
average.
the general case.
Right. And so, why for years, for the longest time, as a mystery. Why are there personality differences between genders? Where
True.
does the basis of that come from?
Mhm.
Because it seems so ordinary to us, in a lot of ways. But when you think about it, there's got to be a reason, right?
Yeah.
And so, this is where evolution comes in. Okay, and going over evolution real quick. The thing the one thing that is king in evolution is literally the only thing that matters is reproduction.
Mhm.
Okay, that's the only thing evolution cares about is reproduction.
It's funny you were gonna say that because when you asked like why and like how these personalities came, the first thing that came into my mind was like, it just I feel like it really a lot of it has to do with their roles too, as women having to take care of children and men
Yes.
having and we're talking back in like the hunter-gatherer age where women primarily focused on your sole job was keep this baby alive so our people can keep continuing to live.
Actually, interesting thing I found doing this research was that in very old primitive hunter-gatherer societies, the women, when the transition to agriculture started, the men were the ones going on hunting and protecting, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the women, according to what I found, was that the women were the ones who actually developed agriculture because they were at home and they were the ones actually providing the bulk of the food through agriculture.
Yeah.
And they're the ones, and that was an interesting fact because you kind of think of the male as being.
No, yeah.
And so they actually did a lot more than just
just
childcare. They really did.
No, yeah, it makes sense. And when you're talking agriculture, that's more of like a in one place, the type of thing where
Right.
you're at home, you're gardening and
Right.
and where they were able to provide the grains, and as
Yeah.
the males they went and they were hunting for like the meats
Right.
and whatever.
And then eventually once they found out agriculture could sustain the family and no hunting was really needed if they didn't want to, then that's when the male kind of said, oh, okay, then I'll do the agriculture. They
Mhm.
kind of they were like,
Yeah.
let me take your cool innovations in agriculture and let me just steal them real quick.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
So credit to women. Shout
out to women, man.
for giving us
They do more than we tend
much
to
more than
appreciate.
yeah. But let's go back to the evolution thing. So
Mhm.
again, reproduction is king. Evolution does not care about anything but reproduction. Reproduction is the only thing that matters here.
Yeah.
Okay, so just keep that in mind because that's a key thing.
Noted.
Now let's investigate the reproductive organs of males and females.
Mm.
So for males, clearly we have I don't want to get to do. But what do males do? Essentially, we ejaculate and the sperm fertilizes the female, right? That's kind of the only thing we do reproductive wise. We don't really play any other role in helping the offspring grow, or obviously we protect it and things like that. But on a biological basis, we don't really do much.
Yeah.
The woman, females, they have eggs, right? So they have the other half of the DNA, but they also have a lot of apparatus to help offspring. And this, when I'm saying this in a very scientific terms because this is seen across all species.
And
this
apparatus
is apparatus. So that would be there's the egg is it has a cover, it has nutrients for offspring to grow. Obviously, the woman grows the baby inside of her body.
They just have
they breastfeed.
They have the parts in them that are made for
everything that's helping offspring grow is basically from the woman.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. 100%.
Females don't really do much.
Yeah. Males, you mean?
Males don't really do much. Sorry. Yeah. And to be clear, this is seen across all species. This is not unique to humans. What we're kind of going over. So now think about if males, all they do is ejaculate, and females, they are the ones that are taking care of the kid, right? So if females have a baby in them, for humans it's 9 months, right? That's a long time that A, they can't have sex, right? And B, think about that puts a limit on the number of offspring that females can have. Females can only have so many offspring.
Yeah.
Males, on the other hand,
could have
practically have no limit. Technically, you could literally.
To the OG Adapt or Die podcast listeners, y'all remember when we had an interview with a teen dad? I think he has 2-3 kids. So that's at the age of like 19. So that's just to tell you, such a young age, males just can have way more kids.
Yeah, and like technically speaking, like you could partner with a new like mate every single day, right?
Yeah.
And that you could,
theoretically have
theoretically
365 kids.
Yeah, you could have thousands and thousands of kids. Now, does that happen? No, but the point is like
there's no limit to our reproduction.
There's no limit to male reproduction. There is a limit to female reproduction, and for humans, because of the time, it's actually a pretty big limit, right? Because how many babies will you actually be able to have
and be able to take care of, and also like how many women are out there in the world? That's the limit.
Exactly. And so now think about this from like an economic standpoint. Okay, so what does this create? Now you'll love this. If males can have an infinite number of offspring, supply. Right? That means that they have very high supply. What's in demand? Women. Right. So there's men are, this is where it gets kind of crazy. You start connecting the dots, right? If men are the ones that they have no limit, right? There's a very high supply. The supply of women is limited. So what is the commodity here? It's women, right?
It's women.
Women aren't chasing men because men, they're not. There's a large, that they can. It's just economically speaking, if you've taken economics, supply and demand, right? And so that creates the age old, we've all seen it. Like, why do men chase women? Like, why don't women? Like that's where this comes from.
Yo, hold on.
This is where this comes from.
Let's pause and let's kind of not elaborate more, but just take a moment to kind of actually appreciate, like, that's actually a mind-blowing thing for me to think about, because in our generation, you always hear like, women don't chase men, or, men, you always hear about, oh, I'm chasing this female, I'm taking my shot, XYZ. And to think that like this whole concept, this whole narrative that we talk about as a society really just kind of stems from the fact that biologically, like, we are the high supply. Women are in demand.
Like, literally, they're in demand.
Scared, and it makes so much sense.
Yeah. So from an economic standpoint, women are in demand. Men have high supply. Okay. Now, what does that mean? Okay. So if men are chasing women, who's competing? Men. Men are competing against men for women. Like, and then from that logic, what would be good in competition? Like, there's two major general traits that would help male species or male
stronger, smarter.
So they develop so we'll get to intelligence later. Aggressiveness is one, so they're very aggressive. Obviously we have testosterone, we're larger, we're stronger, and these are generalizations, but on a biological level we have more testosterone, and so you even see the development evolution of things like horns in animals. Like the males will have horns and their female counterparts won't. Why is that? Because they're competing against each other for the females, right? So that's the one thing. The other thing is they develop traits that are very they're trying to draw attention to themselves. A great example would be a peacock, right? Think about what is a peacock? They have a just beautiful, right? Yeah. They expand and I think the feathers. I don't really
something
know
like that. Yeah, I know. I've heard that.
But the point is, like, you see them and you're like, wow, like that's beautiful, and that is done to attract females.
So I guess to put this example into humans, so like for male one is like the stronger, more built man would be the one to have the advantage over others, and then also what you're saying, like a more beautiful guy. You know what I'm saying?
Well. So actually, no. Really, kind of mostly just the strength.
The strength for the human. Yeah, okay, like, that makes sense.
So they're more aggressive, and what you also see in males is because we're more aggressive. Like, look at any like hand-to-hand combat type, like any crimes. Think about who's assaulting people. It's males.
It's mainly
males. Like, the statistics back this up totally, right? Yeah. Males are the ones that are committing crimes that are very physical, right? Yeah. Violent physical crimes are by far the majority from males. And that's a result of evolution becoming males are more aggressive. That's an evolutionary thing. Yeah. So that's one large trait that we can easily explain.
You are connecting so many dots right now.
It's blew my mind too. This is why I wanted to talk about this, because I was like, yo, this is crazy.